edition of Inside Great Lakes Sailing. My name is Greg Norman, your host. You can see behind me the Lake Michigan. We are coming into Macatawa Yacht Club. We are just finishing up the second race of the GL52 Big Red Regatta. We had a lot going on. There was not a lot of wind, so they're not going to get a third race in. We'll bring you the results after we get a chance to check on Friday, and Sunday we'll figure out that, have some conversations. It was a really fun day today on this wonderful boat, the Tierra 43 Open. It's just a wonderful, wonderful boat. But that's be the side. We got a lot to bring you. Got stuff on the race, a little bit about the Big Red Lighthouse, and we're going to also bring you some information from the Mills race, in which there were 90 boats started yesterday. We got some folks over there taking care of some of that, so we'll get that opportunity, and we look forward to seeing you guys. So stay tuned, pack it up, and we'll be back in a second. We are talking with Anna Slusova, and she is the official photographer, videographer, and I guess just YouTube muse, for lack of a better term. And we're getting a chance to talk to her a little bit about her background. She's a Russian from the Moscow area, come to the United States. I guess the easiest part is you got an enormous talent. And how did you end up in the 52 fleet?
So I started doing photography when I was around 17 years old, and I was born in Russia, grew up there, and was working with Russian sailing team for a while. Then after some time, we don't really have a lot of good places to sail in Russia, so all the same people, and it's all the same venues, and I knew that I wanted to grow to something bigger, and I'm sorry, it's a long story, and I went to Europe, worked there for a while, and then came to United States and just built portfolio here and network. And a year ago, the fleet contacted me and they said that they want to work with me. So yeah, I've been working with them for like a year and a half at this point.
Now, you're based in Chicago.
Yeah.
You have your own company and you're doing a variety of other things. Being self-taught, I mean, obviously you start from the beginning, but what gives you, is it just an eye that you're lucky enough to have? Is that fair?
Kinda. I do want to say that ever since I was born, I was very interested in arts and photography. I think when I was 11, I told to my parents that I want to be a photographer. I always, would stop and look at little flowers and drops of rain on leaves and stuff like that, and seeing the beauty. And yeah, I just started with a very cheap camera, and I didn't know how to work in manual mode or anything like this, but I learned, and yeah, it's been awesome.
And you just seem, when you look at your photography and you look at your videography, it's amazing because it's unique, it's different. Technology helps a ton, certainly.
Yeah, obviously, and I actually took a couple of photography classes online, and one of the phrases that I heard there, it was, imagine that there are 10 other photographers around you and you all take a picture of the same thing. So what would you do that will make you stand out of these people? And I always think this way and trying to find new angles. When
you put your head down at night, what goes through your head? What do you think about when you're processing this thing, since you've sort of invented this thing on your own? What's next, I guess?
Yeah, well, next would be hopefully working with other big fleets, and I have a great relationship with Mills 24 fleet, so hopefully we'll do more work with them. And about when I put my head down, Honestly, it's been such a long road to get here, and I think about it every day. And I'm very grateful for being where I am right now. Never thought that I would be here and doing this. Honestly, you know, United States always been kind of like I never thought I would end up here.
Right.
I wanted to move to Europe, but America always seemed like very far away and almost impossible. So yeah, I'm feeling really lucky to be here.
Well, if you don't get a chance to see much, take a look at the YouTube stuff. Your 52 fleet, and even your. I saw something the other day. You come up with an idea of having some of the foreign guys pronounce Michigan names, city names.
That wasn't me though. That wasn't me. That was our media manager Caroline.
Okay.
And our another media person and drone pilot Drew Follett. Yeah, they came up with it.
It turns out they butchered some names pretty bad.
Yeah. No,
But
that's a great idea. Yeah.
Your photography is phenomenal, and we just wanted to get a chance to talk to you. And
Thank you.
we'll put up some of the B-roll from some of the stuff so people can see just exactly how talented you are.
Thank you.
We're spending some time talking to John Brynjolfsson, who is the new owner and skipper of Fjord, one of the 52 boats. Used to be Usual Suspects. Now we've got a different process. 2 regattas last year. You're here for the first sort of big race of the season in the summer here at Macatawa. Just some thoughts on the boat and the season.
Well, yeah, we were excited to be able to acquire this boat. We've spent about 2 years now rebuilding it. It's ready to race. I did, for the first time in about 40 years, go back to school. I got schooled by a fleet of some of the best skippers and crews in the world, and that's what we're here for.
We should point out this was Usual Suspects. It lost its mast at some point. You've obviously resurrected the boat. It was a great boat then. It's certainly a great boat now. Your sailing background is pretty extensive. You've done Transpacs. You've been all over the place. You're a West Coast guy to some extent, although you came from...
Sure. Yeah, I've sailed around the world. I've sailed in San Diego to Hawaii, in Newport, Rhode Island, and the Caribbean. I'm super excited about this Great Lakes opportunity. I had just a little bite at the apple last summer, and I enjoyed the Chicago Mac race. This year we're going to be looking at that plus the Bayview Mac, the Queen's Cup, a bunch of races, and we're experiencing the beauties of Michigan. Most exciting, I should say, is Harbor Springs and the Yacht Regatta, which they do 4th of July and a little more enthusiastically here in Michigan.
Yeah. I got a house in downtown Harbor, so we spend a lot of time, and it's a wonderful race. Talk a little bit about this 52 fleet, because we've said for the last 3 years this is one of the more competitive fleets in the world for boats its size. Your thoughts coming in as a sort of a first-year guy?
So we have a tremendous organization with a huge amount of infrastructure backing owners who want to come out and race in the fleet. It's fantastic, even though it's a, quote, box rule for the TP52 class. Here what we do is we bring in ORC ratings. They're all very close to one another because they're all TP52s, but that allows us to have boats as old as 2005 and as new as theoretically 2026. But we have boats all over the map. They're handicapped so that the times are corrected, and that takes into account slightly different ballast and stern geometry.
You're the primary driver for this boat?
I'm not sure about the rules, but yeah, I usually will do the starts. I work with Chadwick Huff, our tactician. Not only have we been racing big boats for about 4 years together, we also race Etchels together, and that's where Chad and I work on our communication. We have to have split-second timing during those starts.
The power, I've been on all kinds of boats. When you get on one of these boats, there's the power involved, and certainly you've got great sailors on it. But this is an impressive beast for a boat.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's not like just going out sailing. It takes effort and certainly takes skill.
Our main sail has about 1,000 square feet of sail area. Spinnaker is maybe twice as large as that. It will pull this boat downwind or upwind tremendously. The boat's all carbon fiber. It's got a 11-foot keel with a 8,000-pound bulb at the bottom, torpedo we call it.
I could ask you 1,000 questions about what's difficult about being an owner skipper, but what is when you lay your head down at night? What's the fun part? What goes through your head? What's the best part?
I just love giving the crew an opportunity to sail on a machine like this. We are a Corinthian in the GL52 class, which means we have 3 pros. You can't sail a boat like this without at least 2 or 3 pros.
Yeah.
And then we have anywhere from 10, 12 Corinthians who are some of the best Corinthians on the globe.
And the last question I'll ask is, it goes back from a guy from saltwater. It's just one of those questions I got to ask. Mm-hmm. You're now in freshwater.
Yeah.
You spent some time in freshwater. Saltwater, freshwater, your favorite?
Well, hey, I mean, it's all great. If you're out in the middle of Lake Michigan, you could just as well be in the middle of the Pacific. I mean, they've got swells, and in fact, a lot of sailors will tell you that it's more dynamic in the middle of Lake Michigan. You can have a squall with 75 knot winds just pop up out of nowhere. So it's exciting. And last year during the Chicago Mac race, we went across 3 different geographies, ranging from the Chicago skylines to the shores of Lake Michigan, sand dunes, islands, channels, and probably 4 different wind conditions.
I should probably ask you, since this was Usual Suspects, I obviously know your background, but Fjord you came up with the name because?
So, well, I could say Chevrolet was taken, and I didn't want to go with Chrysler, so I went with Fjord, which is pronounced with the J in there.
Okay. Appreciate your time. Good luck today.
Thanks.
At the U.S. Center for Safe Sport, ending abuse is not just our job, it's our promise.
We wanted to take a quick second to thank a couple of folks. Jack Coonsey was nice enough to take us out from the Macatawa Yacht Club and take us out on Lake Michigan to watch the GL52s. You'll notice that there's a minimum of race video. It's a 3-day race. We were there for 1 day. Anna Slova, who we've interviewed, has got some of the best video you could ever imagine for the race. So I don't want to try and top that process. Katana won the race overall by Sunday, but we were there on Saturday. We're going to give you kind of an inside view of it. But we also ended up with a bad SD card. I apologize to Jack immensely. He was such a gracious host, and Jack was part of it. You'll see his picture here. And Jack was nice enough to take us out on his boat, which is a Tierra 43. We hopefully will come back for the championship later in the summer and get a chance to spend some time with him. But I want to make sure that he gets his credit for his Quantum hat that he had worn almost all day. He's connected with Quantum, and he does a lot of charity work in the area, and I just wanted to thank him for his time and his patience. And we appreciate all that he's done for us on the weekend, and we couldn't have asked for a better host or a nicer guy. So, Jack, I do apologize for messing up the interview. We got everything but a couple of things, so bear with us on that. We'll try to get a better job of getting our drone airborne. And then the follow-up to it is that we wanted to make sure we had the sort of the inside skinny of everything that goes on within the 52 race. So hopefully you'll enjoy the rest of the show. Stay tuned. Welcome back. We're headed out for the GL52s off of Macatawa Lake. We're spending some time. We're going to spend a whole time talking to you about Big Red, get a little bit of an idea what Big Red looks like, but there's a celebration about it. We're going to have that conversation with a couple guys who are involved. We're out in the middle of Lake Michigan. We're here on the GL52s. We just came by the Big Red Lighthouse, and this is obviously the Big Red Regatta.
Yep.
And you're a commissioner as part of it. There's a big celebration about 4 weeks ago.
Yes.
Talk about it, just briefly. I don't know what that is.
It was just a mark. I'm trying to think of how old the thing was. I think it's like 100th anniversary or something.
Yeah.
But we have people come through. We have people that come through and see it, and we do that quite often, like 3 or 4 times a summer. We'll have open it up for people to come through. The Macatawa Cottage Association is private, so we have to work out with them to allow people to come, which they do.
Big Red's been around.
Big Red's been around for a long time. I don't know exactly how long, but the people put it up there, and it's been an icon for generations.
I don't think there's a more iconic lighthouse in the Great Lakes.
I believe that's
fair?
correct. I agree with you. I've been I'm a professional captain. I've been all over the Great Lakes, and I've seen wonderful lighthouses. But this one is really special, and everyone knows about it.
Yeah.
So
well, you name a race after it, but again, it's one of those. You see a picture, you see all kinds of knickknacks at different places. There's always replicas of it, so it's
it's kind
honoring
of fun.
it because it's the good part.
I've got a couple hats that have it on and so forth. So the right now it's owned by the Lighthouse Committee, but it's on land that is owned by the federal government. The federal government has been very nice to us. Coast Guard's been very nice to us, but we're trying to upgrade the windows. The windows are older than Christopher Columbus. We're trying to we're doing a couple things to see if we can gain some money and put in really good windows to save us to be there for another 100 years. It's fun. People say, "Oh, this is where the lighthouse keeper and his family stayed." No, the lighthouse keeper and his family went out. The wife went out with her husband. She looked at it. She said, "Well, there's no bathroom. We're not staying here." So they had a cottage 200 feet inland or 100 feet. I don't know its name.
When's the last time somebody actually inhabited it?
No one ever inhabited it.
No one ever has. Okay.
They talked about it, but
one of the great opportunities when we get on a chance to be able to come out and do this, get on Jack's boat. Barry Lewis, one of the great North salesmen, run this North Chicago loft for years, is on board. When you get somebody with that caliber and have that opportunity, we're going to talk to him a little bit about his process. When you get the opportunity to have somebody on board with that kind of knowledge, it's a little bit like being on a 52 with the pro sailors, because it makes it more insightful. And inside baseball, the nuance is what hopefully we bring you for the show when we talk to some of the guys we've talked to. And we're going to talk to him in a little bit as well, and I think that's the fun part. We're spending some time on Jack Kunze's boat, and we're talking with Barry Lewis, one of the great North sales loft managers for a long time in Chicago. I've got an interesting question. We know about your background and all of the expert. When you retired, you've been at it 47 years. When you retire, to go from professional back to amateur, it takes 2 years under the age of 70. And over the age of 70, they only charge you for 100 days. You got to explain that.
I can't explain it. I don't know who came up with an arbitrary number of 100 days, but the fun part is when you're over 70, you obviously lose and forget everything you knew in 100 days, whereas if you're younger and more cognitive still, then it must take you 2 years to forget.
Is it possible maybe that they just want to get you back on the water to be able to see sails in amateur because of your age?
I have no idea
Well, that's
what the
logical.
motivation was. Maybe. Yeah.
What rule is that? Is it U.S. sailing rule?
No, it's an international IYRU category. Yeah.
Maybe.
And it only matters for classes that restrict the number of pros on board. So a lot of the local fleets, the J111s and a lot of J88s, a lot of them restrict their crew members to only one pro. So it might matter if a boat has a pro and they want me as well, or I want to sail with them as well.
I would be remiss of asking this question. 3D that North came up with has really revolutionized the sport.
Yeah.
Is that as big a revolution in design that you've seen in a while?
Well, it is. My short answer is most of my years in selling racing sails any new development became, not only was it more expensive, but it was most often more fragile, less durable. And this is the first time in half a century that the fastest sail is also a really durable sail. And that's been the secret for a lot of people are willing to pay more money, not just because they're fast out of the bag, but because they'll stay that way longer.
So Quantum, Doyle, and North together is a good thing for sailing.
Well, North is the only one that does the 3D.
Okay. So they're sticking with their technology, even though they're under the same umbrella.
I don't understand North ownership's interest in buying both Quantum and Doyle, and they continue to operate all three companies as separate profit centers, and nothing's really changed in the way we operate. But anyway, they own all three for whatever reason.
I guess the last question: what was the best part of being a sail loft manager?
I've had a great half a century, basically, of a lot of fun. I've never had, well, very rarely had much stress in the job. And especially in the early days when North Sails was a lot smaller company, we all knew each other, and we might have been friends, if not best friends, but we all shared a lot more than, it's gotten so big now that it's, culturally it's different, it feels different.
Thank you. Welcome back. We're talking with Bill Sleeman, who is the I guess the founder and the president and the chairman and the head cook and all the other titles that would go with it of the Jolly Madison Sailing Club. We were going to spend some time with you on Saturday. We were over at Macatawa for the GL52 for the Big Red Regatta. And Bill, I didn't get a chance to talk to you, which is why we're talking to you now. But you guys run a really cool charity. And just kind of briefly explain what Jolly Madison is and kind of how it works.
Jolly Madison is a youth sailing program designed to bring access to under-resourced kids that wouldn't otherwise have the opportunity to learn the sport. But obviously, you know, Greg, that sailing is so much more than just a sport. You know, you've got the mechanics, you've got teamwork, you've got all of these different things that these kids can benefit from. We also, our program has a big segment with STEM, science, technology, engineering, math, for those that are not familiar with those teaching terms. But we have a big component of that as well. So they learn buoyancy, they learn purchase systems, they learn complicated rigging, they learn all of these different things, and they don't even know they're learning. They just enjoy it and have fun with it. So we started that about, 2020. And I didn't know where we were going to sail. I was looking for a boat, so I got the program set up. And then I happened to be part of a men's group that one of the individuals had a great relationship with the YMCA out in at Camp Manitoulin in Middleville, Michigan on Barlow Lake. And this gentleman, I was planning on just using my facilities here on Madison and Garden on the southeast side of Grand Rapids as kind of the clubhouse, and we were going to load some 420s up and take them to Reeves Lake and then bring them back and that sort of thing. This gentleman set me up with the director of the YMCA, and at that time, 2020, they were letting people go. They were saying, you know, hey, we can't really help you right now. We're letting people go. And I said, well, what if we bring our own staff, we bring our own kids, we'll bring our own equipment, and we'll pay some rent. And eyes opened up and they said, well, if you can do all that, then have at it. Yeah, we want this to be used. We want this to be, to share this common purpose we have. And the facility out there is just beautiful. Large stretch of lake, very calm, easy, good place for kids to learn the initial part of it. We assume nobody knows how to swim. None of those kids know how to swim. We put them in life jackets before they get close to the water. But that's always been a barrier also. You can't play unless you know you can do this. Well, they haven't been able to do that until they get with our program. Now with life jackets, now they're comfortable, then they start to learn it. So that was kind of the progression. And then we were blessed with The Y welcoming us back time and time again. Now they're a big partner of ours. We work with Boys and Girls Club. We work with Young Life, a after-school ministry called New City Kids. And that was the other thing. Where are we going to get these kids? We're working with people that have already got the kids. They just need they need other things to do. So that's we fulfilled.
We have video of you guys. The 52 fleet, the GL 52 fleet's been instrumental in helping and getting kids on boats and rides and seeing races, which is what they did this past weekend. Plus, you had a bunch of activities, so you've been very fortunate to have the community, the sailing community, certainly step up and help you.
Yeah, well, I've been sailing on that 52 fleet for a number of years. This is actually the first year that I stepped off the boat and decided to focus more on this program. So we've been setting that up for. We've had kids going out there for the last 4 years, 3-4 years, and MBYC, credit to them, they have stepped up and they have volunteers that say, we'll take some kids on our boat, and we get another call, and somebody else will take kids on their boat. So this year we had 5 boats full of kids and a few of the chaperones to take them out. We even had, then we had too many still on the dock, and another gentleman, Mitch Padnos, said, "Hey, take one of my boats," and we jumped in that, and so we had a good turnout for that event this year.
What 52 syndicate did you sail with?
WingQuest.
Okay, all right, that makes sense.
Yeah.
The funny part of the name, it's interesting because you think of Jolly Madison, you think of cakes, then you think of other gyrations. Jolly Roger, obviously a pirate, and this comes from the Pirates and a street, but it's a name that's hard to forget because it's a combination of things that can screw it up. But as long as you're having to think about it, it's not a simple thing. You got to remember the name. So I think you did a great job with coming up with the name.
Thank you. We wanted to make it sound like it had been around for a while, not that it was a new program, and now we're in our 6th year, so it's kind of taken hold, but we still get called Jolly Roger, and we'll take it as long as they remember it. So it's worked out well for us.
Bill, I appreciate you talking to us. If you read right below your name right there, you'll see that there's a website if you want to get a hold of Bill and anything related to Jolly Madison Sailing Club. Give them a call and hook up with those guys, because I watched some real happy faces on this past weekend at the GLA 52 event, and it was kind of fun to watch.
Thank you so much, Greg. Appreciate your passion for youth sport as well. Thank you very much for sharing your time with us.
I've always been told I gotta be strong. Thick skin, tough as nails. But to be everything for everybody, it wears on you. Black don't crack, they say. But it can. We all can. Reach out to a friend if you see them going through it. No matter who you are, being vulnerable is what makes us whole. Learn how to help at seizetheawkward.org.
Every 3 minutes, a baby is born with a cleft, making it difficult to talk, hear, eat, and even breathe. Many won't receive the treatment they need to thrive. Through training and financial support, Smile Train gives the power of healing back to local communities so they can provide life-changing surgeries and other services at no cost to families. Help us change the world one smile at a time.
Welcome back. We're talking, as we always do, on a pretty regular basis, talking to Dwayne Burgoyne. Dwayne, we're going to talk about the Mills race, which is the obviously logo behind me. First of all, 2nd place in your division, so that's pretty cool. One of the better races you've had. Talk briefly about the race. It sounded like it had good weather, and everybody sounded like they had a good time.
Yeah, it was a pretty exciting race. It was a fast race this time. As we got ready for the race, we just gotten back from Detroit from the BODs and started looking at the weather reports on the race, and it looked like it was going to be a little bit nasty out there on Friday evening. It had predictions of starting the race about 15 knots, and sometimes in the middle of the night we would see up in 25 and 30 knots. So what happened is that yes, it did start at 15 knots we started with kites up, but through the evening it didn't really materialize into the big winds. So we never saw more than 17, 18 knots through the race. But this one was a unique race in itself because we didn't have a lot of upwind racing, so it was a lot of kite racing and pretty exciting. I think for all three divisions, they had real fast races through the night. Probably might have set records for the quickest race. I can't tell you that for sure.
90 boats started out of about 105. Is that typical? Usually you lose about 5 to 10% of the fleet?
Yeah, usually they'll break down and a few boats don't start, or they look at weather or the conditions. Maybe they don't have the enough crew members to do that. So we were about at 100 boats, which is a little bit lower than it was in its heyday in the 80s and 90s. But with Mike Fishbaugh and Dave Ryan taking over the marketing and things like that, we're looking forward to higher numbers for the Mills race next year. This was the 102nd Mills race.
As a participant, do you remember races based on, let's just assume you've done 50, 30, 40, 50. You've done a lot of these races.
I've done maybe, hard to count, maybe 35 or 37.
Okay. Do you remember races based on your finishes, based on weather, or is that all that combination of how it works out?
It's kind of funny. You kind of forget about them until you're sitting in Frosty's having breakfast and somebody brings something up about the 1987 race when we didn't finish until midnight or something like that. And then all of a sudden the old synapses fire in your brain and you go, oh yeah, I remember that one. It was so buggy and mayflies and all that stuff. Yeah, sometimes you remember them.
Okay, well, overall winner was Trey Sheehan. We're going to put Trey on. He was on last week, so we're not going to give him that much airtime. But the 52-1 Hooligan did a great job. We were over with the 52s in Lake Michigan for the Big Red Regatta. So Trey was first. You can see his picture here. Johanna guys came out of nowhere, not out of nowhere, but they came back, had a good second finish. And you finished second in your division. Is that...
There are three different divisions. One is the Mills Trophy Race. That is 70 miles. The next division is the Governor's Cup, which is about 54 miles. And then for the slower boats or the older boats, sometimes the President's Trophy Race, and that was about 38 miles. And Trey did a great job. What a great week for Trey, winning it up at BOD on Sunday and then coming down in Lake Erie and winning on Friday night. So what a good week for him. But I got to tell you that the one who really came out pretty well was all the big boats, all the big fast boats were in the Mills Trophy Race. And a J105, which is not that slow, but J105 Cashmere with Paul Heckman and Jody Clodoller did really well against all those boats. So, I mean, really proud of them. Kind of the Goliath thing where, you know, they came in and did well, but just a little bit short.
So certainly the first sort of gets off the big race for the summer of 2026. It's the kind of the kickoff. We've got the Queen's Cup coming up, obviously, both the MAC races, thousands of races in between. If you look at, you try to get through yacht scoring just to look at the results, and sometimes, and I don't know how many races on there, but people are busy on their sailboats, so it was pretty cool. Is this your where does this finish in your personal record? This is one of your better finishes, right?
This one was really important for me. You know, as I got older now that my kids have grown up and gone on to their own way, and I had three of my boys come home for this one. So it was more of a family reunion. We'd gotten here by Wednesday and Thursday, sitting around the deck on Friday morning, making plans for the race. And then, of course, with all the kids there doing the race on Friday night and then getting our awards on Sunday. We were pretty lucky to get first to finish and second in class. And excuse me, we were pretty lucky in getting, elapsed time. I'm sorry, we were 20 seconds out of first to finish. I lost to a Beneteau 36.7. So I mean,
pretty good.
Yeah,
pretty good. All right. Well, listen, appreciate it. We're catching up, and we will certainly see you along the trail.
We'll see you later.
been asked by the powers to be to talk to you a little bit about the upcoming Crescent Sail Yacht Club's One Design race. We're in a tent that will be used as a big party here, obviously coming up, and it'll be a real good time this weekend. We saw the guys cut the grass. We're looking at folks working on all the marks. It should be a fun weekend, and we hope we see everybody here. And don't forget those dinner tickets for Friday and Saturday night. So stay tuned, and hopefully it'll be a great race. You know, we've been talking to you guys about some charity over the last couple of months about raising some money for the Detroit Community Sailing Center and for Spectrum Sailing. If you're not familiar with either organization, Detroit Community Sailing Center has Challenge the Wind. It's an urban junior sailing center here in Detroit at the Detroit Boat Club, run by Harry Jones. We've done a lot of stories with them, and they're an unbelievable charity. With all of the things going on at Belle Isle, they're always cash-strapped, and we want to make sure we get more kids in boats. To see a young man or a young lady get a chance to swim and then get on a boat and be able to sail for the first time when they're 11, 12, 13 years old is pretty interesting and pretty challenging, and certainly a terrific opportunity for those kids. And in Spectrum Sailing, Scott Herman has got a program that's just gone off the map. They're involved with Sail GP, but they help with autistic kids getting in boats. And we wanted to help them financially with a revenue stream of just other than just sort of asking once in a while on our show here, like we're evangelists hoping to pick your pocket on Sunday. That being the case, we want to sell you guys Captain Greg's Magic Boat Soap, something we've been using on our boat for a better part of 2 or 3 years. A friend of mine right here in Fraser has a company that sells biodegradable soap. It is some of the best that I've ever used, and we're going to start a campaign. The money that we sell, and you'll see all this information at the end of this pitch. The process that we're going to do is you're going to be able to buy either a quart, a gallon, or 5-gallon pail, and money, $5 or $10 from each sold item will go directly to both of those organizations. And I think it'll be a good revenue stream for them. Give us a try. Never hurts. We're going to be cheaper than West Marine, who obviously just filed bankruptcy. We'll bring you some cute commercials along the season as we go in some different places. But we're calling it Captain Greg's Magic Boat Soap just because it's kind of a crazy name. But what you do is you look at the number, call the number, order it. They'll ship it out to you within 24 hours. And it'll raise money for a really good organization. As you watch this infomercial or commercial, as you watch this, you'll see some pictures of faces of who that's going to help. And our goal is to raise some money for them so they can put more kids in boats and bring some needed financial help to a couple of nonprofit organizations that we think are important. If you use the soap, I think you'll be happy. If you don't use the soap, then obviously it is what it is. But we hope you can support us. We're also involved with this with 10 Knot and the ladies over there, plus the 2 organizations. So if you guys want to give my buddy Doug Monfortin a call and order that, he'll get it to you hopefully within 48 hours, and we'll kickoff starts today, and all the information will be it's just below you right there, and we'll give you some contact information at the end of the show. So we hope you'll take the opportunity to raise some money, clean your boat, and it's going for a really worthy cause, guys. And again, we've done a really good job. We've tried to do a good job of supporting both those organizations over the last few years of this show. Now we're asking for you guys to help us while getting in return a really good product. That being the case, we want to thank everybody. So Harry and Scott Herman, we appreciate all their help. And we'll bring you some commercials, some fun ones. We're going to think up some cute ones in the future. But buy some soap and get your boat clean.
Military families often sacrifice precious time away from loved ones while serving our country.
We were worried that with him leaving, that she would lose those connections with her dad.
Some of life's best moments happen between parents, children, and the pages of a good book. United Through Reading provides that connection. And now, United Through Reading is also available to veterans. Learn more about United Through Reading at unitedthroughreading.org.
Eva Marie smoked 12,000 packs of cigarettes over 15 years. She quit, and now there's a new lung cancer screening that could save her life. You stopped smoking. Now start screening. No matter how much you smoked, early detection could save you. Talk to your doctor or learn more at savedbythescan.org.
Well, we're coming back down off the last race. Are they doing a third race? Are they doing a third race? Okay. We are finishing up the day, coming down the channel here at Macatawa. There were only 2 races. We just finished up. It's about 4 o'clock. We finished up the last race, which you'll see some of the finish coming across. There was some good racing. The problem is there was no wind, and it was you'll find the process when you see the video here. It was really a fun opportunity. We want to thank Jack and all the folks on board for making it such a cool day. This was a real special group with Perry and Lisa and all the rest of them. So we want to thank Jack and taking the time. As you can see, there's lots going on. It's a very sunny day, and we will enjoy it. We'll be back.